Okay, let's sing a little more welcoming Shabbat with Lecha Dodi, which can be found on pages 20 and 21 or 138 and 139. Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala Penei Shabbat Nikabla. Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, Penei Shabbat Nikabla, Shamor v'zachor b'dibor echad, Ishmi'anu el ha'meyuchad, Adonai echad, u'shemo echad, l'shem u'tiferet v'litiva, Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, Penei Shabbat Nikabla, Likrat Shabbat Lechu v'necha, Ki mikor habracha, Merosh mikedem nesucha, Sof ma'aseh b'machshava techila, Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, Penei Shabbat Nikabla. No, verse 5. Hitoreri, Ivaor Rechumi Uri, Shir Daberi, Kevod Adonai Alaych Megillah, Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, Penei Shabbat Nikabla. Verse 9. Boi v'shalom ha'teret bala, gam b'simcha u'tzola, tochelunei am segula, boi chala, Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, Penei Shabbat Nikabla. So if you are at all confused about the standing up at the end, that's a custom, and it's related to the fact that that last verse is sort of reminiscent of a Jewish wedding, and metaphorically, Shabbat is the bride, and when the bride enters the room for the ceremony, everybody rises and faces the bride entering the room. So it's sort of about that. So when we say, Boi chala, enter, O bride, in the end of verse 9. It's not required, it's a custom, and thank you for reminding me about it. Page 26/144. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, יעמד יברח ירצה וימליך מלכותי, בחייכם וביומכם, ובחיי כל בית ישראל, בגלה, ובזמן קריב, באמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך, לעולם לא מימיה, יתברך וישתבח, ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל, שמי קדושה בריחו, לעילם עם כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דמירם ימה, ואמרו Amen. We continue with Baruch Hu, our call to worship on page 28/146. Please rise as you're able. Yai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Yai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai. Praise Adonai, to whom praise is due forever. Together, praise the Adonai, to whom praise is due now and forever. Page 30. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv arabim. Together in the English. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night, and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tsevaot is your name. Ever-living God, may you reign continually over us into eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on the evening. Baruch atah Adonai, HaMa'ariv Arabim. Page 33/151. Almost forgot something. Really? I get much better reception when I'm wearing them. Okay. 31 at the top of the page. As you taught Torah to those whose names I bear, teach me Torah too. Its mystery beckons, yet I struggle with its truth. You meant Torah for me. Did you mean the struggle for me too? Don't let me struggle alone. Help me to understand, to be wise, to listen, to know. Lead me into the mystery. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. Next page. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malkuto Leolam Va'ed. You may be seated. Page 36/154. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך, ושנתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. Page 39/157. Responsibly. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say, Adonai, there is one God in heaven and earth. From bondage in Egypt we were delivered, at Sinai we bound ourselves to your way. Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed. Next page. Mi kamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nehtar b'kodesh. Nora tehilo, oseh fele, nora tehilo, oseh fele. Malchutecha Okay, ayam, lifnei Moshe Miriam, zeheli anu v'amru, Adonai yimloch, Adonai yimloch, le'olam va'ed. V'nemar ki fada Adonai Yaakov, ugalo miyad chazak mimenu, Baruch atah Adonai, Ga'al Yisrael. Page 43. In the middle of the page, give us a place to rest. Adonai our God, bring us into shelter in the soft, long evening shadows of your truth. For with you are true protection and safety, and in your presence are acceptance and gentle love. Watch over us as we go forth. Prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace, over all we love, over our Jerusalem and yours. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom aleinu, ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim. Page 44/162. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, lasot et ha-Shabbat lidorotam b'rit olam. V'shamru Beini uvein bnei Yisrael, oti leolam, oti leolam, v'shamru bnei Yisrael et ha-shabbat, lasot et ha-shabbat לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. Page 47/165. In an envelope marked personal, God addressed me a letter. In an envelope marked personal, I have given my answer. Tefillah continues on the facing page, and then on consecutive even numbered pages, we rise. Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi agit tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. 48:166. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el HaGadol, HaGibor v'Hanorah, El Elyon, Gomei Chasadim Tovim, V'konei HaKol, V'zocher Chastei Avot v'Imahot, U'mei Geulah Livnei Bneihem, L'ma'an Shemo B'Ahava, Melech Chozer Moshiach U'Magei. Baruch atah Adonai Magid Avraham Bezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechayeh hakol atah le'Moshiach. Mechalkel chayim b'chesed, Mechayeh hakol berachamim rabim. So make noflim berofei molim, Umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato lishenei afar. Mi chamocha bal yeburot, umidom elach, melech memit umechayeh, umatzliach Yeshua. V'ne'emanata lechayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh hakol. 52:170. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kadoshim b'kol yom yalu haselah. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh. You may be seated. At the very, very, very bottom of page 55. The meaning of Shabbat is to celebrate time rather than space. 6 days a week we live under the tyranny of things in space. On Shabbat we try to become attuned to the holiness of time. It is a day on which we are called upon to share in what is eternal in time, to turn from the results of creation to the mystery of creation, from the world of creation to the creation of the world. Page 57/175. Ritzeh, ever-present one, may we, your people Israel, be worthy in our deeds, our prayer, wherever we live, wherever we seek you, in this land, in Zion restored, in all lands. You are our God, whom alone we serve in reverence. Baruch atah Adonai, she'odcha levadcha v'yirah na'avod. Page 59/177. We behold the heavens, the work of your fingers, the moon and stars that you set in place. What are we humans that you are mindful of us? We mortals that you take note of us. You made us little less than divine, adorned us with glory and majesty. You gave us dominion over your handiwork, laying the world at our feet. How majestic is your name throughout the earth. Baruch atah Adonai, atov shimcha ulecha na'eh lehodot. Page 60. Shalom Rama Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rama Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech Adon lechol hashalom. Ki atahu melech Adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rama Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rama Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. V'tov be'einecha levarech et amcha Yisrael b'chol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rama Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rama Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. We continue silently. You may find something inspiring on the pages or offer your own personal silent prayer. Oseh Shalom Bimroma, Uyaseh Shalom Aleinu, Ve'ako Yisrael, Ve'imru, Amen. Ya'aseh Shalom, Ya'aseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, Ve'akol Yisrael, 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 Ya'aseh Shalom, Ya'aseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, Ve'akol Yisrael. We continue with prayers for the community, beginning with Misha Beirach, our prayer for healing. The text for the prayer can be found on page 253/371 in the brackets, for healing of the body and healing of the spirit, for those joining us virtually, those here in our sanctuary, and for our loved ones that we think of everywhere, and especially healing for Joni Abramowitz, Lucy Karen, Kenny Elliott, Lynn Goldstein, Renee Gordon, Sam Gordon, Grady Holly, Margaret Gerstel Lamb, Ronnie Schatz, Sarah Stone, Lauren Victor, and Debbie Weiner. Together on the middle of the page in our book. Misha Beirach Avotenu Mikor HaBracha Limotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misha Beirach Imotenu Mikor HaBracha Lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. We continue with a prayer for the state of Israel in our mind so much this week and in recent months, and for many of us always. On page 259, thank you. 259/377. Sha'alu Shalom Yerushalayim Yishlau Ohavayich. Pray for the peace of Jerusalem. May those who love you prosper. Avinu Sheva Shamayim, O Heavenly One, Protector and Redeemer of Israel, bless the state of Israel that marks the dawning of hope for all who seek peace. Shield us beneath the wings of your love. Spread over it the canopy of your peace. Send your light and truth to all who lead and advise. Guide them with your good counsel. Establish peace in the land and fullness of joy for all who dwell there. Amen. Okay. A few words about Torah for this Shabbat. Torah this Shabbat, Parshat Ki Tavo, begins with a ritual that is for farmers when they bring in their first harvest. The farmers were commanded to take a basket of their best harvest to the temple and recite a declaration that is taken directly from the verses in this Torah version. And it reads as follows. You may recognize it from the Passover Haggadah. My father was a wandering Aramean, and he went down into Egypt with a few people and lived there and became a great nation, powerful and numerous. But the Egyptians mistreated us and made us suffer, subjecting us to harsh labor. Then we cried out to Adonai, the God of our ancestors, and Adonai heard our voice and saw our misery, toil, and oppression. So Adonai brought us out of Egypt with a mighty hand and an outstretched arm, with great terror and with signs and wonders. God brought us to this place and gave us this land, a land flowing with milk and honey. And now I bring the first fruits of the soil that you, Adonai, have given me. And then they placed the basket before Adonai, your God, and bowed down and bent before God. In the Mishnah, it states, when people began to refrain from bringing their fruits out of embarrassment that they could not memorize the formula, my father was a wandering Aramean, it was enacted that everyone, even those who could not recite words on their own, would just repeat the words after the Kohen, the priest. And this change in law reflects the rabbinic statement, Derech Eretz Kadma La Torah. Sensitivity, even cultural sensitivity or sensitivity to people's differences in ability must ultimately guide the Torah's instructions. So what the Torah is saying is that no one should be kept out of Jewish life because they don't know the exact words to say. That's not the kind of Judaism we want, and we ought to be sensitive to the fact that some people excel in different areas. Some people can't memorize all the books of the Talmud. Guilty. Some excel in other areas that allow them to shine. Some people can't memorize a few verses and shouldn't be made to feel any less than someone who can memorize the whole Torah. Memorization is not a complete indicator of a person's intelligence, but not being able to memorize everything can make someone feel inferior, even if they are superior in other areas of intelligence and talents. Memorization can make you a better actor or public speaker, and I think we presume that if the Mishnah teaches us that sensitivity to people's needs overrides instructions from the Torah, then sensitivity to people's differences ought to be what guides our compass and how we relate to other people always. How can we apply that here in Springfield? Well, there's a club, I think, that should be a part of every temple. Actually, it's not a new club. It was established here before I got here. I'm sure of it because I've seen it at every synagogue before I became a rabbi. And I learned about it, I remember, on my visit to a congregation when I was just going as a worshiper, which rabbis rarely get to do between ordination and retirement, but I had that opportunity. And though I've been a rabbi most of my life, there are still times when I remember walking into a congregation for Shabbat services, even on occasions more or less anonymously. When I lived in Florida, when I went to attend services at a congregation I had never been to, a couple of people there actually recognized me from the community service I had officiated, and even though we had never been introduced. So when I walked in looking a little bit like I didn't know anyone, about 30 seconds before services started, because I hadn't fully anticipated the traffic between my home and the synagogue that evening, a lovely woman named Marge, of blessed memory, recognized me, smiled in my direction, and said, "Hi, come sit with me." That was a great entrance, a way to start my time at a new synagogue, both physically and spiritually. So tonight, let's restart that club, the Come Sit With Me Club. When you see someone standing at the door like they might be here for the first time and they're not sure what to do, all you have to do is, and you know the look, right? You know the look on the faces. When you recognize it, you just have to be willing to get up, smile, and say, "Hi, I'm Greg. Come sit with me." You might not want to say I'm Greg, but you can figure that part out. And that will show what the Mishnah describes as derech eretz, sensitivity to others who might be uncomfortable in situations where the rest of us take for granted what you're supposed to do. It's hard to be the new guy or the new girl. Some of us are better at it than others, just like some people can memorize several pages of dialogue and others need to have the script right in front of them. But being the new guy is hard when you walk into a large tribe of people who clearly know each other and are comfortable on what might be to you new turf. So it makes a big difference when a person's first experience is when someone says, "Come sit with me." What's the worst that could happen? A person could say, "No thanks, I'm actually sitting over there with somebody else." They could say, "I'd rather not tonight." They could say, "That's very kind of you, but I'm Rabbi Cantor and I have an assigned seat up on the bima. Maybe we'll talk at the Yoneg." Honestly, it's a win-win situation, and life doesn't give us too many win-win situations, it seems like once a week. Here's one. You win for being a mensch. The person you ask wins for being welcomed warmly on what may be their first time in a new and unfamiliar place. And our congregation wins because you make it a better place to be because of a simple act that costs nothing. It sometimes seems like the Jewish people, both here and in Israel, are divided into many groups. In the Torah, it lists 12 tribes. I can only imagine how divided our people were in the actual days of those 12 tribes, which are mostly lost today, so many centuries later. But let us be like that, each unique. We're different kinds of Jews with different backgrounds, but we come together to make Shabbat, and in less than a couple weeks, a new year. When we do that, when we do that well, we make a congregation, a people who respect each other's differences with the kind of sensitivity that the rabbis were calling for in the days of the Mishnah, together to worship as the combined tribe of Yisrael. We start here with kindness. And I think that what we renew here could be contagious in the best possible way. Shabbat Shalom. Okay. I'm coming up to the concluding portion of our service. And I got to tell you, Ian warned me last week that he would not be here this week, that I might have to open and close the doors all by myself. I've been practicing all week. So. With your support, we turn to Aleinu on page 282/586, and we rise. How's that? Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, v'teikinu la'liyatzeh b'rechi, she'enoteh shamayim ve'yaseh haaretz, u'moshav yikaroh v'shamayim mima'al, u'shleina tuzo v'gogei meromim, hu Eloheinu Eino, v'anachnu korim, u'mishtahavim u'modim, lifnei melech malchei hamelim, hakadosh baruch hu. You may be seated. Page 287/591. May we gain wisdom in our lives, overflowing like a river with understanding, love each of us for the peace we bring to others. May our deeds exceed our speech, and may we never lift up our hand but to conquer fear and doubt and despair. Together, rise up like the sun, O God, over all humanity. Cause light to go forth over all the lands between the seas, and light up the universe with the joy of boldness, of freedom, and of peace. V'nehemar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz, hayom hahu, v'hayom hahu, yeh Adonai echad, Ushemo, Ushemo, Ushemo Echad. Service continues on page 290/594. It is a fearful thing to love what death can touch, a fearful thing to love, hope, dream, to be and oh, to lose, a thing for fools this, and a holy thing to love. For your life has lived in me, your laugh once lifted me, your word was gift to me. To remember this brings a painful joy. 'Tis a human thing, love, a holy thing to love, what death has touched. As I continue with our list of remembrance, as you hear a name of a loved one, we invite you to rise in recognition of your loved one. Our memorial list begins with those who died in more recent times. We remember Ralph Hurwitz, Hazel Holly, Betty Hurwitz, Mary Bennett, Tammy Adams, and Sonia Richardson. And we add to their names those whose yard sites we commemorate: Orrin Balin, Fanny Bamberger, Roscoe Carey, Nathan M. Cohn, Robert Falk, Rose Fisher, Joseph Lerman, Ronald I. Levine, Bertha Lieberman, Rebecca Lillienstein, Zachary Lowenstein, Mildred H. Mans, Jenny Max, Morris M. Myers, Jean P. Prozonik, Irving Rowling, Phanis Salzenstein, Jean Stern. We remember those 6 hostages who recently were murdered in Gaza. Hirsch Goldberg Poland, Alex Lebanov, Almog Sarasi, Carmel Gott, Eden Yerushalmi, and Ori Danino. Would anyone like to add a name of a loved one who died recently or whose yahrzeit you're observing? So then, with those who are already standing, we rise in solidarity with them. We turn to page 294/598 and join together in the mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shmei Rabbah, v'alma livrach yirateh v'amlif malchuteh, v'chayachon uv'yomechon uv'chayedachol Beit Yisrael, v'agalav v'yizman kari v'imru amen. Shmei Rabbah v'barach le'olam olmei Maya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpahar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei d'kedusha v'rivku, le'ela mikol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiran v'yoma v'yimru amen. Yehei shalom Rabbah min Shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. V'seh shalom v'romav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Zichronam libracha, may their memories be for blessing, and together let us say, amen. You may be seated. Any announcements about what's coming up in our community? Okay, it was a busy week for many of us with JCRC, and boy, just following the news could be exhausting this week, but here's to a more peaceful and reflective week ahead as we get closer and closer to the new year. And before we go downstairs for an Oneg Shabbat, we'll turn to page 323/627 for a closing song. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaShabbat, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei HaMlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei HaMlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Archuni l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei HaMlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzedchem l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei HaMlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shabbat Shalom. See you downstairs.